Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the great Zimbabwean theatre where even the Speaker of Parliament now believes he is the deputy god of governance. Jacob Mudenda, the man who already speaks louder than sense itself, decided to flex his newly polished political muscles at the pre-budget seminar, and poor Tatenda Mavetera was the unlucky target. The young ICT minister, who had just proudly announced plans to build a small digital hub inside the Harare post office, probably expected applause. Instead, Mudenda, who recently added ZANU PF Secretary General to his collection of titles, tore into her like a teacher catching a student cheating in class. He was livid, not because the project was bad, but because he had apparently spoken to Google. Yes, Google itself, which was supposed to fund a bigger, shinier data center at Sunway, and he had communicated this to Tatenda Mavetera. So, in Mudenda's eyes, Mavetera's little post office idea was nothing short of heresy. The speaker spoke and the room went silent, except maybe for the sound of Mavetera's dignity quietly packing its bags.
Mavetera, while you are still on ICT, you want to start a little ICT park. Why? Why? That is defeating that whole idea of one data center. And in my conversation with you, I said Google is prepared to fund you, to fund the government on a centralized hub. And we discussed that this centralized hub will not be for Zimbabwe government only. And I said, and talking to James Manyika, the vice president of Google, we agreed that if we put in place enablers A, B, C, D, which we discussed, that hub will be a regional hub for the whole of SADC. And when we met in Victoria Falls, Honorable Minister, you remember, you made that statement, and parliamentarians from the SADC Parliamentary Forum agreed with you. And that's the way to go. And if you read this 2025 AI index report produced by Stanford University, you'll be clearly directed as to how you can establish that. Relatedly, it will also give you how you rope in the private sector. Government can't do it alone. It will show you the matrix of bringing in the private sector. And you relieve Treasury from the fiscal's burden. So that should be the way we go.
But then came the clapback of the day. Fadzai Mahere, armed with a law degree, Twitter account, and zero tolerance for arrogance, called Mudenda out point blank. She reminded everyone that the speaker is supposed to run meetings, not run people. Being speaker doesn't make you headmaster of the house, she wrote, adding that yelling at elected officials like a school prefect gone rogue is simply rude. Ouch. Mahere didn't stop there. She reminded the unelected speaker that his job is procedural, not presidential. He must learn to run meetings professionally, she said. Translation: sit down, Jacob. You are not the vice president, at least not yet. And speaking of that, social media had a field day. One witty user posted, Mudenda is already seeing himself as VP. Why was he embarrassing Honorable Tate like that? Just because of promises of being VP, he is already playing tough? She also added that Mudenda has an I am brainier than you attitude that makes him sound like a lecturer grading ministers. It's almost as if the men attended the Emerson Mnangagwa School of Overconfidence, where shouting louder apparently means you are right. The irony? The same ZANU PF that mocks opposition for disrespecting authority now has its own officials disrespecting each other in public, and all for a project that might not even get built. At this rate, we might soon have a ZANU PF code of conduct for public humiliation. Lesson 1, embarrass your juniors and you are assertive. Lesson 2, get called out by Fadzai Mahere and you are under attack from the West. Zimbabwe's digital transformation dream seems to be collapsing faster than its Wi-Fi connection. If Google really was going to fund that big data hub, maybe they should reconsider. Because if our leaders can't even run a pre-budget seminar without turning it into a shouting match, imagine them managing a global tech deal. One thing is clear, between Mavetera's shrinking confidence, Mudenda's growing ego, and Mahere's Twitter truth bombs, Zimbabwe's parliament is less a legislative house and more a live comedy series. Coming soon, Season 2, Mudenda versus the Internet. And if you enjoyed today's episode of Political Drama and Digital Delusion, don't forget to subscribe to Zimwaves TV, where we keep Zimbabwe laughing even when the Wi-Fi is off. Also, remember to catch us again in the evening news later today.